Okay, I wanted to get one more video in before I did my next modification. So I got this thing registered, it's running. Able to ride it legally on the road and everything. A couple things I did, I put electric start on it. But one part I need to finish that. It's coming in the mail today, so it's about noon right now. So anytime will be coming. I repainted the stator cover, so now it looks pretty much brand new. And under there is the flywheel. And the flywheel is what I need to get off. And I need to put the electric start flywheel on it because... here it is. Has some gears on it, or one gear on it. That comes in contact with the starter. And that's what turns over the engine, instead of just using the kickstart. And I have the starter button on there and everything. What you have to do is to pull the front brake lever while you press the button. It completes the circuit so that you don't accidentally do the starter while it's running, because that would grind up the gears. Don't remember what I did in the last video, but I have new tires, different rims, repainted, new brakes, everything on the front, as well as new brakes, new tire, different rim, repainted the hub on the back. Registration, got the same thing I had on the other moped. Go blue frame. The muffler I have it painted now. I did bake it, I think, right after I did the last video. That cleans all the carbon out because it was really smelly. It was blowing a lot of white smoke of the carbon that was burning in it because it was on a different moped that was sitting for a really long time. So pretty much, everything's kind of ready to go on this thing. Almost everything that I wanted to do is almost done. I cleaned out the auto choke, repainted it. Kind of is a little hard to start still, but it starts and then dies, and then once it warms up after a couple minutes, then it keeps running. So you have to give it a little gas. And the other thing is, for the electric start, I had to get a different battery. And with that wiring harness I got for the electric start, it has different connectors. So these ones go directly onto the terminals, unlike the one that had just a little clip on it. I had this for charging purposes. I took it off the old wiring harness and charged this, so I'm not using that original battery box, but I brought this thing they call it like a breakaway battery box, and I drilled some holes in it, bolted it onto the frame where the original one would go, and this thing had a little hinge, but it was a little too small for the battery, but I didn't want to get any bigger battery boxes, then it'd end up being like a car battery, which I'm not putting on the side of this. So that battery will run the starter, and it works. I can do it right now. I don't have the gear on it, so it's not gonna... This is my helmet holder that I got too. Put my helmet on there. Electric start, what do? You turn the key, pull the brake lever, and then press the button. So, right inside there. That's the starter right in there. And the gear goes inside here. And then this would be in there, come in contact with the starter gear, turn this, and that would start the engine. So, kind of excited for that today. Be able to get that part. And then it's going to be a pretty cool bike. The only thing, like I said before, is the frame. The paint's a little crappy, especially the gas tank. But, you know, if everything's clean on the inside and it's working, I can still ride it, have fun with it, and at least I can use it for the summer. Just like today. My brother's car is in the shop and my mom took my car, so something like these mopeds will be useful when I don't have a car available, or when I just don't want to use my car. It's a short trip or just having fun. So I did straighten out the back rim. I did get a spoke wrench. So now it's a little more safe to drive. It was a little wobbly because the moped I got these rims from, it was sitting for a while. It's the same one I got all the parts for. Same guy, Moped Army, pretty helpful with everything. He was able to ship me everything pretty fast, pretty cheap. So I probably spent $200 on parts, $300 for the moped, so $500 put into this so far. But for $500, I think it's pretty good, because if you find one that's already in this condition, you'll probably pay near $800 to $1,000, or at least that's what somebody wants to get for it once they fix it up themselves. So that's why I decided just to keep these if I'm gonna fix them up. Worth more to me to have fun with it and enjoy the work I've done on it, rather than spending all this time and getting rid of it. So plan on keeping this one, definitely this one. Probably have to get a new battery for this. I think it's a few years old. It's tried to charge it and it starts smoking everywhere, so I don't want to be breathing lead gas. This one's a sealed battery, so no maintenance. Pretty nice big battery. Maybe I'll start this up. I don't know if it was running properly last time when I did the video. I did. Give me 1 second. I will start this up. See if I can get it running. Just kicked over for a second. Well, I mean, it's a little cranky at first to get it running, but I'm gonna get it warmed up a little bit and then I'll start the camera again.
I don't want to get it too hot because I still have to put the this flywheel on there, so I'll get it more warmed up when that happens. I will leave that for part 4 of the video because I will see if I can clean this up a little bit more, some of the stuff, and then I'm trying to look for a heat shield for the muffler. And next part will also be fixing this headlight. It's cracked there. I mean, the low beam high beam works, low beam is out. So, did get a Dremel the other day. So, I can use that to take out the light bulb and just play around with it and see if I can put a replaceable light bulb in it, so I don't have to keep buying a sealed beam, because those things are about $40 each time you have to buy it. This one's got a replaceable bulb in it. But the thing is, if you ride this without a battery, the battery is like the regulator for it, or at least for these older ones. This one, I think it has a separate regulator, so if the battery goes out, it doesn't do it. But it would burn the light bulb out because it would give it too much current. So you don't want to run this without a battery or with a dead battery that's not chargeable. So this one at least is a new battery, so I know it's nothing's gonna go bad with it. So I will come back to you guys when I get my flywheel puller in to pull that old flywheel off and get that new one on there. So hopefully within, I don't know, by the end of this week, it's Tuesday right now, maybe I'll be able to get some of this cleaned up, maybe the headlight started on, but we'll see how everything goes with time. And so far I'm not having any problems with the engine besides just getting it warmed up, because I think the auto choke is kind of partly working, partly not working. It's just a little fluky thing. So I did get the one mirror on here, the one that has the mirror still in it. So the thing is, I had to use the controls from the moped that the parts that guy gave me from his other moped. His is an 83 Deluxe, which is the 1983 model of the electric start. And they decided to change the thread of the mirrors, which is bigger than these ones that were on the 82. So I had to kind of like rig up some washers that were same diameter as this, but a little bit bigger than the threads. So at least I'm able to use the original mirror for now. Got one mirror on there, so I'm riding on the road, I can see behind me instead of turning around all the time. I am going to still attempt to put LED lights in the turn signals. I might even do it with the headlight if I can get that thing cracked open and mess with the thing. So little by little I'm fixing up each part of this, repainting certain things with just engine enamel, make it last longest, and then be able to endure that heat. Oh, and that horn. Got car horns on this. There's one horn right there, and then the second one, you can see the edge of it bolted right there. It's right inside there. So this thing is loud, and it's very useful to be on the road. And if someone tries to pull in front of you, you know, you can make yourself be heard, then they'll see you. I do have the kickstart rubber coming in by the end of this week. A Kickstarter. Yeah, so far everything's original. Gas and oil. So, I'll get back to you guys after I do the next few repairs. Thanks for looking.